So you've got five. So there's a middle child in there somewhere. I've got three, a 6'4" and 1 year old, and I've always heard about this middle child syndrome, and we're experiencing it some. Do you have any tips with how to deal with middle child syndrome and you know make them feel valued?
Yeah, no, I think my middle child is Sophia, and she's 13 years old, and she's already a pistol and pretty passionate and got a lot of energy and fire in her belly, and yeah, so I think there's two things in this regard. The middle child from the perspective of the parents, and then there's the middle child in perspective to the other siblings. And so I think there is a tendency for, because she's the middle child, for these kind of the older clique and the younger clique to develop within the family, especially with five kids. The two youngest kind of pal around together, and the two oldest kind of really relate to each other pretty well. And then she's kind of left kind of either ebbing and flowing between the older group and the younger group, depending upon the activity that's going on. And I think that's hard for her, because I think there are times where she wants to be included in the older, but then she's also wants to be included in the younger. So trying to kind of mediate that has been a very challenging thing from a parental perspective, like letting her know that, she's valued in both groups or on both ends of the spectrum. It's kind of, I think, hard for her to understand. But as far as like from a parenting standpoint, as far as I'm her parent and my wife is her parent, we try to do this thing where we call it, mommy daddy Sophie time, or mommy daddy Nolan time, whatever, mommy daddy Bella time. And it's like a really juvenile phrase, and we kind of have fun with it. But we try to make sure that, there are times of the week where we're just taking her and going with her, either one of us or both of us together, and having almost like a date where we, even if it's just to a store to walk around and just chat, or to go grab a cookie, or I don't know, ice cream. We try to make a point of making all of our kids feel special in that regard. And she's mentioned to me before how much she loves, mommy daddy Sophie time, because it helps her feel like she's not just kind of floating in the middle of this sea of kids in the family. And so it does have an impact. And I still haven't figured out the best way to traverse how to kind of help her feel like she's part of the older group and the younger group at the same time, regardless of her, station within the family unit. So any suggestions are welcome in that regard.
That's a good one. I mean, we had Jesse Itzler on the show, and he's got four kids under 10, and that was his dad tip: schedule one-on-one time with your kids. He's like, they crave it, they need it, and it's good for you too. So we started doing it too. It's me, I'll take one, and my wife will take a lot of divide and conquering going on here, right?
Yeah, I listen to that, and I totally agree. Like scheduling the time, and sometimes it's impromptu, but most of the time it's like, hey, this Wednesday when you don't have dance, let's go grab ice cream and chat and see how, I just want to see how you're doing. Talk to you. I haven't talked to you for a few days or whatever, and it's been good. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Very wise words.